I do was complain about how I got 3 bad habits. I'm a gambling addict. I can't hold a relationship. All I do was complain about.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the B&B Indigenous Podcast. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Patrick. I am Rock and Roll B. I'm glad you guys were able to join us. Tonight is kind of a crazy episode. We're giving it an hour tonight. A lot of things going on around in the world, so everybody is given that time and energy that they can to things that they do. I've been out on the road for 3 weeks, so it's been one of those things that, like my bro said just a little while ago, family comes first, and that's where it's at, right, Patrick?
That's right.
How you been, man? You been doing good?
I'm outside of the grave. Always a good day when I'm on this side of the dirt. So
That's
absolutely,
right.
man. It's all good. All good in my neighborhood.
We bring on our special guest tonight. Kyle's been with us before. Kyle Missourii from the Winnemucca Indian Colony, joining us from Reno, the city of Reno, correct? Is that well? Let's say you're in Lovelock right now. No, you're in the Valley of Night.
Let's say undisclosed location.
There you go. Yeah. I like that. Well, he's joining us. He wants to give some updates. We've had a lot of crazy developments with regard to what's been going on at the Winnemucca Indian Colony. As many of you might not know, there have been several evictions of family members and people that have been living in the community upwards of 50, 60 years. As a matter of fact, Kyle's grandmother is a property owner on the Winnemucca Indian Colony in north central Nevada, just about an hour south of the McDermott Res, which is, Shoshone Paiute Reservation there in McDermott, Nevada, which is right on the border of Oregon and Nevada. There's been an ongoing struggle for control of the land that has been maintained by the families that have been living there, in perpetuity since the treaties were signed there in Ruby Valley. What was that, 1868, if I'm not mistaken. There is some seriously bad situations going on right now with regard to a lithium mine project that's been steadily being developed. The majority of the communities, including the township of Winnemucca, as well as Winnemucca Indian Colony and surrounding areas, have been basically against the project in its entirety. Because if, in fact, it goes through, you can consider the entire northern half of Nevada a dead zone. Sulfur poisoning, I would say 500 million gallons of fresh water in the aquifers there gone for good without a chance to recover. No possibility of raising livestock or horses. Property ownership will become a thing of the past because nobody will want to live in that area because it'll be completely poisoned. The reason why we bring Kyle back tonight, he has been dealing with some situations, ongoing legal struggles, and we want to get the message out there. How you been doing, Kyle?
As good as I can be, just like Patrick was saying earlier, above the ground, right?
That's
I
it.
got food in my stomach. I got a shelter over my head. I'm still doing better than a lot of other people right now.
Right. Well, my question to you is that, you recently dealt with some police interactions there on the colony, correct?
Oh, yeah, back in December.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what happened? I mean, because from my understanding, it wasn't good, to say the least.
Yeah, this has actually happened pretty much right after the first interview with the podcast, maybe not even a week after that.
Right.
So what I got information from somebody on the colony, they sent me a picture of my grandmother's house, which was a picture of it boarded up. All the windows are boarded, the doors are blocked off. So that kind of upset me. And I was only gone for a few days. I came to Reno for a college graduation for my cousin. So I came up here, and then I found that out later, and I booked it back to Winnemucca. And I've notified people on social media just for my safety. So people know what's happening, where I'm going, especially with all this stuff going on with police officers and all the police forces in America, basically. Something's always going on. So I'd rather monitor it myself, say, hey, this was happening, this is what I'm doing. It was filmed. I got arrested. They didn't know who I was. The officer punched me in the head initially within like the first 5-10 minutes of the interaction. When I had legal right, because I called the BIA office and said, hey, I'm going up there. Somebody vandalized my grandmother's home. I need to go up there, I need to file a claim, take some pictures. The BA office said, yeah, you're more than welcome to. And I said, hey, I might be there a little late. They said, it's fine. Just give us a call when you're there. We'll get we'll get someone there. You go up and make a report. So I go there, and I have no shame saying names right now because of what's going on, but his name was Officer Etheridge for the BIA. He's stationed over there in Winnemucca right now. He didn't know who I was. He says, oh, I asked him who I was, what my name was. He couldn't identify me. He finally identified me by my last name, and he couldn't identify me by my first name. So I notified him, hey, if you can't even identify me, how do you know I'm the person that you're even looking for?
Yeah.
And in the process, I was tased 3 times. I was thrown on the ground. Humboldt County Sheriff's Office came in and helped them arrest me. And I sat in that jail for a while. I went to their mock court, into Winnemucca Indian Colony's mock court, which was crazy to me because it was literally right outside the jail. There was just a parking lot. They took me a minute drive to the parking lot, did my court there over a Zoom phone call. And initially, the first phone call, I couldn't even see. The BIA officer couldn't even log into a Zoom account. So I was sitting there literally on the phone, just the regular phone call to the court.
Now,
and the initial court hearing was... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this is the so-called tribal court, correct?
Yes. Yep. And actually, in the process of being booked inside the jail... Well, in the process of being booked inside the Washoe County Jail, they didn't even know how to book the information. They said, what court are you in here for? I told them, I guess the Winnemucca Indian Colony. They said, we don't have anything like that in our system. Is it through the ITCN, which is the Inter-Tribe Council of Nevada? I said, no, it's the Winnemucca Indian Colony. Couldn't find it. Booked me under some random, out-of-court jurisdiction.
Right.
All right, out-of-jurisdiction hold. So they did that, and like I said, they took me out to the parking lot, did my court over the phone, and then they said, all right, here's what's going to happen. Here's your bill. They tried to put out $10,000 for misdemeanors. I was arrested for trespassing and I believe resisting arrest. So they tried to put the initial bill at $10,000. Right. It seems a little excessive, especially for a misdemeanor in any state. That's a misdemeanor.
Yeah. And then $10,000 would settle out at 10%. So it would be
you can't even get like a BA. You got to go through a whole different agency to get a grant for any kind of federal charge like that. So you couldn't use a standard bail agency. And look, for me, a service helped us out and I got bailed out. But initially when I first went, they said, all right, they lowered my bail, I think $2,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
At first I refused to take it because I didn't want people wasting their money because I knew what was going to happen. I knew the possibilities of what could happen if I went back. And I'd rather sit there as an example of what they're doing because it seems like nobody wants to see. Nobody, they see it, but they refuse to acknowledge it. The community and all the surrounding tribes at the same time. I could give a little benefit of the doubt for the surrounding tribes because there's a lot going on in Indian country everywhere. Everyone has a lot going on. Everyone has a lot of things to deal with.
But nonetheless, the way that I see this situation playing out is that, first of all, every single thing, every action that's been undertaken against not only the community members, including yourself, the evictions, every single so-called legal standpoint that they've been coming at the community members with is completely illegal, and no one is doing anything to try and stop it. It's like, what fallback do we have? What do you have as a person that's being tased? First of all, Humboldt County Sheriff getting involved with a matter that's outside of their legal jurisdiction is a complete crime. They don't have, like I told that one officer when I was down there, I said, you don't have a memorandum of understanding, which makes what you're doing, any actions that you undertake against anybody as residents of the Winnemucca Indian Colony is against the law. And that's where, that's why I'm saying it's good to have you on here, because them interacting and coming up there and helping the Bureau of Indian Affairs, show me where it says that you have the opportunity or the right to do what you're doing. You know what I mean?
And they don't. When I was in the jail, they were actually remarking on that. There was the Humboldt County Sheriff's like, well, this is going to be a lot easier once the contract is actually in place between us and the Winnemucca Indian Colony. So that kind of stated to me already, there's no legal binding agreement between them. There's no contract for them to, and they held me in that night, which seemed kind of weird because they were trying to say weather-related issues, which it wasn't. So by that time I was in jail, I went to my first court, and they agreed to give me a jury trial. That's what the first judge said. He said, all right, you can do a jury trial. We'll set the matters out for this and this and this. And I was like, all right, perfect. I want a jury trial. I want the community to know what's going on. I want to be able to say, have people in there to say my point of view, because it seems like I can't get mine out. I can't show them my evidence, my reason why I'm there and why I can be there without them having any kind of legal rights against it, because they don't. Like I've said it before. My grandmother was part of a program called the what is it? It's an occupancy program for lower class Native American people, indigenous people, to become homeowners. And she did that for 25 years. She met the requirements to the contract, to the agreement. It's called Mutual Help and Occupancy Agreement. That's what it's called. So she went through all the agreement. She signed what she needed to sign. She paid the house off, and it was given to her. She has a deed to the house. We're still paying the bills there, even though we're not allowed to go there. We got our bills and we got the homeowner's insurance. And the homeowner's insurance usually comes out, to audit the house, come check out the house to make sure everything's good and that we have the right plan to go accordingly.
Do you have legal help right now? I mean, do you have anybody that?
I have is Nevada Legal Services, and honestly, it just seems like they're so caseloaded. It's hard for them to actually look into cases that they have to do. And I believe some of the people that we've been working with are from out of state, and they're getting denied to be here because the Winnemucca Indian Colony is refusing to acknowledge them. They're saying, well, they're not barred here in the Winnemucca Indian Colony court. We can't use him because conflict of interest or anything like that.
So my question now would be, so if they're willing, not only to, from what you've told me and other people have told me, they're not allowing you in the tribal court system that they so-called have, which my understanding, they don't even have a criminal court in Winnemucca Indian Colony. So whatever it is that they're saying, they don't have any what they call jurisprudence. They have none. They have no ground to stand on. My biggest situation, my thought in this situation should be, I would call a federal attorney or the Supreme Court office as soon as humanly possible and say, give me any legal reason why this is still carrying on, why we are still excluded from our homes when we're in essence paying the bills. What is it that you have? What kind of legal right do you have to be doing any of this? What is the main motive behind what Judy and her daughter and Bob McNichols are doing? What do you think it is?
This is just a quick land grab. They could say all they want. They're trying to say that they've been there. That is a part of who they are. I was like, we've never met you. Nobody's even know who these people are.
Right.
Who is it? Treva Hearn. Like I said, I'm not afraid to drop names right now because I'm refusing to participate in their fake court. That's what it is. It's a little kiddie court that they're trying to make up the rules because initially I was given, like I said, a jury trial. That's just been denied. They're saying it doesn't meet their requirements because they're enacting laws right away without going through a process. So they said, oh, this new law just came into effect. You can't have a jury trial. It's a bench trial now. So to me, that's saying I'm just going to go to your people, the people that are on your payroll, to judge me on this case. How's that fair? That's not fair. And I asked, hey, I want a jury trial, and the motion was denied, which is a violation of the Native American Civil Rights Act. I'm entitled to all of that, especially in the Constitution and everything, applied to any normal citizen that's on non-reservation lands. But I'm being denied that.
You are allowed by law to be able to be judged by a jury of your own peers.
That's right. And that's why I'm saying, like, everything that they're doing, this is not just a land grab. Over the last week now, just from my understanding, ended yesterday, was a horse ride. This is the second year of the horse ride that they had, a prayer ride from Pihimaha.
Yes.
You're familiar with that? That situation.
I remember seeing them last year coming through because they stopped by the Winnemucca Indian Colony.
Well, this is just my suspicion, and I'm usually pretty right about these things. That, like I said before so many times, follow the money. You want to know where things are happening, why they're happening, follow that money trail. Not only is Judy making a tremendous amount of money from that cannabis dispensary, and I don't know if the feds or the state have shut her down because that's being maintained on a federal tract of land, the cannabis dispensary, and she's not sharing any of those profits with any of the tribal members there, whether they're Paiute or Shoshone. You know, those residents, those people have an equal entitlement to that. Not only does the Bureau of Indian Affairs do not have a certified election result with her daughter, Treva Hearn, whoever, you know, Bob McNichols as their assistant or whatever, those people are not native to begin with, but there's no legal right for them to be in the position that they are. I suspect that this is a situation that they want to take that land and build homes for people that are going to be future employees of that lithium mining project through Lithium Nevadas, which is a subsidiary of Lithium Americas, which is actually based in Canada and Australia. So that's the biggest part about it right there. But the fact that you guys can't receive any sort of legal assistance, or you haven't received any legal assistance, this is worth billions of dollars, not just millions. It's worth billions of dollars. And there's no one, like literally no one, like the Department of the Interior, the United States Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency for the United States, as well as the state of Nevada, the Inspector General, the Attorney General, you name it. Like, all of these people should be in the know, and for them to say that they are not is a complete lie.
Oh, for sure, because we have federal cases still going on this too. I've wrote letters to Deb Holland personally myself to say, hey, this was going on. And I even try to specify the fact that they're making up laws and just accepting them. They're saying these are laws because we're saying it. And it's like, that's not how laws work. You put them into effect until they turn into a revised statute or something within a constitution, which is a process and could take up to years to actually do. It got to be approved by the BIA, then it got to be approved by the Secretary of Interior, and then they got to wait for everything else to go into place so that make sure it's all connected and re-updated into the constitutions, into their bylaws, which they aren't doing. They're just saying, oh, this is law now. Let's do it. That's it. In their favor, no matter what it is. It's like, all right, I'm going to get a jury trial. I'm from Winnemucca. I've lived in Winnemucca pretty much over 30 years now, or 30 years. Even in the area, I've been there my whole life.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'm going to get a jury trial. That's good for me. I'm going to show everyone what's going on. I want to prove to everyone what's going on to see what could be done. But now I'm getting blocked. My voice is getting blocked, and that's what's upsetting me. They're doing whatever they can so this doesn't get out there, so they could just sneak in under it, grab it, and go.
Well, after our first show with you, I got a message from somebody there that claimed to be part of the Winnemucca tribe, and all I heard was they're lying and they're squatters and all this other stuff. And after I started throwing stuff, they were like, well, could you please take down that video? I was like, no, you're not going to tell me to take down our video. This guy right here, Kyle, is telling the truth of what's going on there. And, oh, well, it's making us look bad. Of course it's making you look bad. Absolutely.
You're making you look bad.
You know what I mean? And she goes, well, I thought I was talking to a reasonable person as well. Obviously, you don't know me very well. I'm not reasonable at all. When I got my mind set up, I said, it's the whole idea of this podcast is to put this stuff out there that's not being talked about. Well, I think all the truth. Well, I've heard all the truth. And then she tried to send me to somebody else. And she was saying that she was close friends with the woman that's in charge now. That woman that's claiming that she's from that area or had never lived there before. Who's the lady that's in charge?
Judy Rojo?
Yeah, that she was good friends with Judy and she's known her for years and all this other stuff. And oh yeah, man, you're definitely getting some pushback big time because they don't want they don't want this information out there.
Exactly, and that's what I said. It's such a small community. I mean, it's such a small area that they want to. The Winnemucca Indian Colony doesn't really have where's the registration office? Where's their enrollment office? Where's their clinic? Where is their building? They're saying they have a building, but then they said they're converting to a jail. How can you use both of them as a jail and their building when you're never there? When they initially came in, they went to that building and they stole a bunch of paperwork. We've had people who noticed it and kind of not really know what's going on because at first we didn't think nothing's going to happen with this because they're not native people. Even if they are, they refuse to prove that they're native. Any one of us could pull out our tribal ID or CDIB or any kind of government recognition that we need to show that we're native and that we were there.
Right.
And then not only
So
that, but you have a legal right by way of that land purchase from so long ago from the railroad there.
yeah, and people, it
That
seems like
tract
they
of land.
forget, the BIA seems to forget that tradition runs above all this. It's tradition. You can't just say all these laws. It even says it in the original ratified constitution that it's based on tradition and other laws. So, in my opinion, tradition should override everything. We've been there. We grew up there. We've had agreements there. People have had kids. A woman, one of the elders whose house just got destroyed, her daughter passed away a few years ago. She had the ashes spread at her trailer, and her trailer was just destroyed in the past month.
Really?
Yes. So her daughter's ashes are gone to her right now. The house that her daughter grew up in is gone. They've destroyed so far 3-4 places already, maybe even more, because the ones I just found out were kind of surprising to me. It's like I didn't even know they were going. And they kept saying, it's like, oh, they're going to tow the property and it's going to go to a impound yard where you could pick it up. Well, that didn't work. They destroyed the properties on the colony, and then one of them, when they're pulling, they completely broke it too.
So
how
this
you
was
going
the
to
Bureau of Indian Affairs former agent Bob McNichols at the helm.
Yes. Yep.
Right. Yeah, because I called and I had some choice words for that dude when I talked to him on the phone. You know, I mean, here's the thing. People that don't feel like there's any fallout from their actions will continue to just do whatever they want to do, regardless of what anybody thinks, feels, or says. And why we're having this update with you is because what I want to see more than anything, Kyle, is that you guys have your real day in court, that Bob McNichols is put in a federal penitentiary, and whoever else is going along with this charade. Because what it is, this is straight up theft. It's a continuation of genocide, first of all. And they might as well include infanticide in there too. It's not like that's anything new to the United States government or any other North American assumed plenary authority. What I'm seeing right now is that you guys feel like you have no options. No one's coming to help you, but there is help. There are people out there that have the ability to put these people in their place once and for all. You guys move back into your place, you know, hopefully, you know, your family, your grandmother, you know, all the other relatives like that will be able to have some respite, recovery, time to heal, especially after all of the emotional damage that's been done, the tears, the heartache, the frustration, the anger, all of those things that have been included. I can only imagine. I mean, tased 3 times. Was that a Winnemucca, or excuse me, a Humboldt County sheriff's deputy that tased?
Oh yeah, yeah, and no, actually no, I think it was Etheridge. Etheridge was there. Etheridge is the one that was tasing me, but Humboldt County broke my phone. They just grabbed it right out of my hands and threw it on the ground.
And and here we are yet again without any legal authority to do so. These people are acting as some sort of support mechanism for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, who in essence is acting illegally in and of itself. Show me where it says that they have the right.
But Ron, didn't you say somebody called and said they were not helping the Winnemucca Indian tribe? They were just there to make sure things go smoothly. That was all they're doing. If that's true, then why are they arresting you? It sounds like they're interfering with tribal business there. If tribal authorities aren't the one arresting you, then what are they doing there? If they have nothing to do and they're not supposed to be picking sides because it's a tribal issue, then what are they doing there?
That's what I was wondering why I spent a night in their jail.
Exactly. That's what doesn't make any sense. It sounds like someone's getting paid off.
That's right. Oh,
yeah. It sounds like the Winnemucca tribe, that woman, whatever, Deb, I don't know her name, faking
Judy Rojo.
Yes, pretending. She's putting money in somebody's pocket for them to be armed security for the reservation. That's what it sounds like to me.
Of course, because I mean, I'm guaranteeing she's running out of her money too, because she fined every one of the residents that was evicted around $36,000, and that was what 14 of us. It was considered $100 a day since December 2021. $100 a day fine. So from until that initial order back in December 6th of last year. was a
How
$100 day fine.
how can you get fined after the fact?
Yeah.
The fine has to be warned. You will be fined this day going forward. This ain't child support. They can't go back and go, you know what? The baby look the baby this
She's
is
like, I got something to say about that.
that's it. This isn't
Yeah.
child
She's
support.
on
You
it. You
can't go
trust me
back
when
to the
she's
day the
full
baby was
grown.
born
You
and
gotta
go
watch out.
and back a bill. That means they would have had to tell you back in December, since you guys are not here legally, blah blah blah. You'll be fined this much from this day going forward. That way, you would have an arrangement like, listen, we have to get off here because they're fining us every day. But they didn't do that, and now they're just trying to hit you from December on. See, that smells of all kinds of crookedness.
Oh yeah, well it's all crooked because we tried asking Fort McDermott for help and they refused to help. They just said, "Well, we can't help financially." But I guess there was some lady in there when the residents were going over there to go talk. I guess her name was Frida Tom. Someone told me that she was speaking up for Judy Rojo, and it's like, well, that's kind of weird to me. She was trying to say, oh, she's known Judy Rojo for years. She's known Judy Rojo to, fluent in Shoshone and stuff like that. Like,
Really?
I was like, that's weird to me because their little whatever they're calling themselves, the White Knife Band of Shoshones, whatever, they can't even pronounce it right. They didn't even put the right paperwork on it on how to actually say it. Like, well, she's so fluent. How she makes such a simple mistake?
Right. And see, hear me when I say this, and my brother hates when I say that too. But I'm only saying it because what I think that it needs to be is that if everybody has a piece of paper, one paper that says that Judy Rojo and Misty Dawn Rojo do not represent any one of the members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony, and that only has to be 70% of the overall population of the people, she is out. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that is according to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, like voting laws. First of all, in order to have a legal election through the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you have to have a full fifth of eligible voters through the tribe. So if Standing Rock Sioux tribe wants to have an election, a fifth of their members, a fifth is around 2,000 people. Okay. If the Confederated Tribes of Siletz wants to have an election, that means 900 people in essence have to vote out of a 5,200 person population. But that doesn't include the less than 18-year-old members. Okay. But that's all tribes that are federally recognized as a part of what they call the federal trust responsibility through the Department of the Interior. When things were put to a vote before the Department of the Interior took over the responsibility of managing and governing tribes through the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the BIA used to be included through the Department of War as opposed to the Department of the Interior. But if the tribal membership says they have a responsibility, first of all, here you go. You want to go see sister? There you go, my girl. Mom and sister are back. So they have a responsibility to show, first of all, that there's a full fifth of eligible voters that voted for Judy and voted for Misty Dawn, whether Treva Hearn or their attorney or whoever did this in an office and they just kind of basically floated it under the radar, is meaningless. Unless they can prove that they were duly elected by the members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony, they have nothing. That's what needs to be established. First of all, there's no vote. And if you go to the BIA.gov website right now, it says specifically, no one ever voted for this person. She stole it. Not only did she do that, but she started throwing her weight around after she stole this position as the chairman that she self-proclaims, her and her daughter, as the vice chairman, which also is a conflict of interest. If you've got an immediate blood relative on the tribal council, you cannot be making decisions without the other members of that council also being a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew family members could be part. I mean, every tribe I've talked to and been a part of, my own people.
Right.
If your direct family member is on tribal council, you cannot work directly with it for the tribe. That is a conflict of interest. That tribal affiliate, especially if it's chief, because that a person has direct has direct access to be able to control your pay.
That's right.
So that's a conflict of interest. So I have heard of you working in tribal offices doing like secretary work and stuff like that. But when it comes to being on the board, you're not allowed to be on the board. Family members can't share board seats on the board. As far as I know, I don't know every tribal law. Let me put that out there before I get corrected. I know I'm going to get corrected by some Indians.
Oh yeah, always. Somebody's always a professional on the internet.
Oh my God! So let me put this out. I am not a professional, y'all. I am only speaking for what I know, which is about this much compared to tribal law, which is a whole bunch more than I could ever think. So before I get corrected, before I get ringed through the mud, I'm already getting a headache just thinking about it. I just want to put it out there. I apologize if I overspoke. I am just speaking for what I know. I did not know this was allowed, but if it is with your tribe, I don't know. Congratulations, but I have never heard it.
Personally, I haven't either, and I might as well put that out there too. It's like, listen, everything I'm saying is what I've seen, what I've looked into, what I know.
Right.
That's it. I mean, there's always, like you said, there's always going to be someone out there to say, oh, well, he's lying, or he's saying this, he's saying that. Someone else told me this. Of course, you're going to hear word of mouth about something else. It's just hard to get things out there and straightened down unless you talk to the people who are actually involved. And the people who are usually doing the bad on it are the ones that are lying to make them look good.
Well,
so can I play devil's advocate right before you go around? Let me play devil's advocate.
Please.
If you don't mind, let me play devil's advocate. Kyle, how many people roughly amount, how many people are on that area that we speak of? The Winnemucca community. How many people there?
The actual colony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that many. Majority of us were the ones that kicked out. And that was I think 14 people who were named. Maybe like 26 altogether that I know of that was on the colony. That I know on the colony.
Holy shit.
I mean, I can name everybody still. They're all in my head. I know who they all are. I grew up there. It's been the same people.
When you said small, I was thinking a couple hundred.
Oh,
I didn't know it was a couple tens.
Yeah, a couple dozen, a few dozen.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really small.
Now what I was about to say, playing devil's advocate, really doesn't make much sense. I was going to say, then who voted this person in? If it's that few people, why are you the only one, besides our elders, of course, because I'm not expecting our 80, 90-year-old elders to be out here making a ruckus. But why are you the only one? It seems like you are trying, and the other guy that drives us crazy, he also speaks a lot about it, but
JJ?
I believe JJ has been on our JJ has been on our ass to get another show going on. Yeah. So JJ, we did this, buddy. So sorry it took so long. But JJ's like, we need to do another show. He's getting on me. And I'm happy he did because I wanted to get on top of this, but I wanted more information to unfold. I'm glad you came to us and told you had more information you wanted to share with us.
Oh, his place got destroyed too. I know his place got destroyed.
You and JJ seem like the only ones speaking up. And where's everybody else? Where's everybody else? I mean, do you have allies that are staying?
We have people like, it's more like under the radar trying to deal like under the radar right now. They want to voice their opinion. I mean, the most they do is Facebook posts, but like I said, a lot of them are elder, a lot of them are, majority of them are elders and disabled. That's the thing. They're so used to living a lifestyle where it's content with what they had. They were able to, have their kids, families, they were able to eat, keep themselves warm. That was it.
We should have been able to get JJ on here tonight too.
Nobody expected this to really go down, especially as fast as it did. So I think the thing is like people are still at loss for words.
It feels unreal. I can only imagine.
Oh yeah. You know how hard this has been the past 3 years since I've really been involved with this. I hear heavy equipment. I'm still up. It's like, what's going to happen? Who's getting destroyed? What's going on? Every single day, every week, I hear just a garbage truck coming. I'm like, what's going on? It sucks. It's like it'll wake you up out of a dead sleep. You'll hear something like, oh, what's going on? I don't know when they were coming or what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's rough. Just live your life like that every day. It's horrible. And I can't imagine them. I can't imagine how they were going through it. Because
That's
a lot of the
PTSD.
stuff, yeah, because a lot of stuff going on was down there. And they brought it up at one of our meetings before too, saying it's hard just to hear heavy equipment coming through because they know it's like roulette. Who's next? Well, that was it. Like just hoping it's not them at the moment.
Well,
Well,
it's heartbreaking.
I feel, and I'm not just thinking this. I feel this. When the pieces of this puzzle are put together and a clearer view is painted for the majority, and that's digging in and saying, you know what, we've got a media rep, we've got this person, we got that person, we've got a GoFundMe to get you guys the tens of thousands of dollars to get a real attorney, or find somebody that's hot blooded, that's coming out of law school, that's ready to take this pro bono or something, because what this is to them in their legal career is a titan. It's a titan. Not only what they're doing, they're showing right now that they can basically do whatever they want and get away with it, and that there's no repercussions for a literal continuation of genocide. But the destruction of the whole entire framework of what it means to follow the law.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking that the word genocide sounds. You said there's only 25. Let's say 20. Let's say 30. Let's say 30 of you guys out there, right? And this woman come out of nowhere, being a leader, right? Imagine if this is an inside government disbandment. They're trying to get the numbers low enough to say there is no, because this happened before.
Yeah.
There are no Indians there. There's only a handful. So what we're going to do is relocate these people since there's only a handful of them. So what she's doing now, this is only theoretical. This is only theoretical. Let me put that out there, because it makes sense to me. From me being in the military and doing what I did in the military. Just walk with me through this for a second, down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
A tribal disbandment to be able to sell the land off completely. If you guys are the only ones that reside there, and there's so many acres that is promised to the federal government for that people, and they say there's not enough to be able to hold land claim there, that means the federal government can pay off those tribal members that are still existing after all you guys are gone, the ones they've kicked off, after you guys are all gone, which just happens to be Rojos' supporters, pay off that family to have them move, which they weren't there to start with because she's from somewhere else, give her a large payment to move and to be able to take that land to turn it into a uranium mine. Now, to me, that really makes sense. Like I'm saying, I'm only theorizing. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm looking at the numbers you have. I'm looking at the amount of money the government is putting into that land not being used by them, and saying, well, if we can get off these people, that splits them in half. We've knocked off 14. We had 30 total. We've knocked off half now. There's only 14 people now. Federal government comes in. Here is $10,000 per remaining tribal member for you guys to get up and move to this other reservation, another Shoshone band. We'll move you guys to this other Shoshone band, and we take that land and turn it into uranium mining.
Anything's possible. I mean, the money thing seems legit because, like I said, that 20-acre spot seems to be the focal point of everything going on. And that's right within the city limit. That's literally like right in the middle of town. So who knows?
It is. It's like you drive up off of the main business lateral from Interstate 80 and 95, and it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
There it is, right in your face. I mean,
it's hard to miss.
The biggest question that I have is the other property is adjacent to that. Now they've got that fenced off, correct? All the way around the bigger portion.
Oh yeah, they put a bunch of barbed wire fences, just like I was telling you last time when you and your wife, when you guys brought down those red dresses and put them up. BIA ripped them down for to show our support for the murdered and missing Indigenous women. We had those up to show our support, and Judy Rojo had the BIA rip them down.
See, there you go. See, I'm telling you, this is a land grab.
Oh yeah, if you're really native, you would have been. You know, it's like, all right, well, they're doing something good. We'll leave that there. No, they ripped them down. Every day I walked by it, I still saw some of the ripped fabric on there, and it made me a little sad. I was like, that's just heartless to do.
So
well, it would be nice to see her put in jail. I can tell you that.
Do you guys have any?
Well, she's been in jail before. There was a report saying that she might have been involved with a DUI with death in California, and with California's laws, you have to like, I forgot how it is to get the information. You got to pay a certain fee or something to get a report.
Are there FOIA request costs money?
Yeah. Are there any businesses in the town?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of businesses, mostly casinos.
Now, here's the next thing. Watch businesses as we are taught. Now, if I'm right, watch the businesses that are closest to that point, the center of town, start to slowly get bought out. They'll slowly get bought out to move. Slowly but slowly, in the middle of that town of Winnemucca, any businesses there, if I'm right, that'll be the next line of strategy. Once you start getting rid of the people, now you start getting rid of the businesses. Now you can say the federal government, this place isn't thriving. There's no businesses and there's no people. So the remaining people be bought out. So an example, down in New York in the 1980s, during the crack epidemic, the places that were the worst places known, Brooklyn and places like that, instead of them going in repairing homes and stuff like that, what did they do? They slowly started buying out the businesses and wouldn't let other businesses move into those locations.
They regentrified that whole area. And
so what they did is they let those places, they let the property value drop. They went in, took bulldozers, tore that place down, and started rescoped in Brooklyn.
That's right.
So that is another piece that you should watch out for. So watch businesses going out of businesses. Start looking out for places in town. You'll start seeing going out of businesses, and you'll start going out of business. They'll start getting bought up, and when them places get bought up, those businesses they'll stay vacant forever. You'll never see another business move in there. And if you do see a business, you'll see something like a bodega, a little small store, something that won't be able to last. It's just there temporarily, just to say it's occupied.
Well, she's already saying that she's building homes, though, right? Isn't that
she did? She's built on the colony. She's built 2 homes, and one of the homes Officer Etheridge moved into. So he's right there at the entrance because they blocked off the South Street entrance, and they only allowed one entrance in because everything else is blocked off with gates. But they moved Officer Etheridge into one of those homes.
So that's the BIA Officer Etheridge. Actually, he's not an officer; he's an agent if he's a federal government employee. But they like to use the word officer because it schmoozes them up with other police agencies out there.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Federal Bureau of Investigations or the National Securities Administration or the Central Intelligence Agency. They don't want to be thought of in that vein. They want to be recognizable as community and da-da-da-da-da, when in fact they're nothing of the sort. You know what I mean? Why I'm saying this right now, there you go. There's your palatable proof in the pudding.
But I don't think Winnemucca
to that land. Is he a native? Is Etheridge a native?
No, not that I know.
Is the shaved head, right?
I don't know if he has a shaved head. I just remember he's brown haired. People in McDermott know him. He was out there for a while. I think his family was out there, but now they moved all over there. But with the business thing you guys are talking about, I don't think Winnemucca's like it because Winnemucca's mostly mining, gambling, and agriculture. There's cattle ranchers, and there's the hay fields, alfalfa, and stuff. But a lot of but with the lithium mine, that's going to be in jeopardy too because there's only so much water to go around.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is I think if this is a land grab, if I'm using the word if, ladies and gentlemen, I'm using the word if this is a land grab, dominoes will start falling. The first domino is the people. I mean, the United States military, we've moved into places to re-governize things. That's the first thing you do to rebuild a military base, to take over a military base. The first thing you do is relocate the people. That's the very first thing. Once the people, then you start relocating the businesses. Then you start relocating the buildings, and then you start rebuilding whatever you need to build. That's how a military base is formed in other countries. That's exactly what we do. We find a place that a military base can be formed. We go in, we slowly start outplacing the people, we start outplacing the businesses, then we start outplacing the buildings, and then we start rebuilding for us. So that's exactly how it works. So what I'm seeing is she is setting up the only houses being built isn't for the people, it's for the service of the tribal council. It isn't for the people, it's a service. So you have the BIA building, the guy is the one that got the brand new house being built. And he's at the gate, like right. You said he's out front.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right. Exactly. So there's your guard dog. So they set up that doghouse. That's one thing when you got your guard dog out there now. Next building is probably, if I had to guess, the other house is probably on the opposite side, on the
where the late Barbara's house was.
There you go.
No, not that. No, it's actually literally. There's two ways in, but there's like one like literally right across, like what he's talking about, right next to it, right at one of the main entrances, or at the entrance that they don't got barred off, because they got the one where after they're just staying, they got one right in front of it too.
So what they're doing is it's called inner circling. So you make 7 circles, and you work from the out. You work from the in to the out. So you work on the inside, and then the inside works on the outside in. So you work on inside of your. So you take care of the leadership in the middle, right? You interject yourself in the leadership. The leadership starts getting rid of its own people. Exactly what's happening. Getting rid of its own people. And then as you go up, then you have to worry about the businesses start shrinking. Everything starts shrinking. The next thing you know, you're going to start seeing ranchers start losing land. You'll start seeing ranchers. Yeah. You'll start seeing ranchers lose land. The alfalfa fields will no longer be tilled out there. You'll start seeing those lands start going dry, and up for sale. You'll start seeing piece by piece the alfalfa fields will come up and dry. I'm telling you, they're getting ready for this uranium mine, and this is a land grab. This is the big tribal land grab, and they're going to. I give it another year and a half, and the remaining people that they're in Winnemucca, if the courts don't hear you, Kyle, and set this thing right. Damn, I sound good.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to share this really quick. I messed that up.
So in another year and a half, the remaining Winnemucca people that live there will no longer live there. They'll be relocated to another tribal society, probably another Shoshone band of people, a bigger place. The government will come up with a deal plan to relocate these people to another Shoshone band. And that land will be starting to be getting mined.
And that's exactly what Austin is saying right here. He says history repeats itself before our eyes. That's exactly what happened to my ancestors and why so many blood relatives claim Tuscarora, Meherrin, and Cherokee. They were forced to forget their land and Choanoke identity. Everyone simply forgot the people who lived at Indian Neck just a couple generations later, and it clearly continues. And that's absolutely right, Austin, and we appreciate your comments. For those of you tuning in tonight, we want to say thank you for being with us right here on the B&B Indigenous Podcast, sponsored by Skoden.xyz, as I take time to recognize our sponsor.
Skoden!
We want you guys to go like, share, and subscribe this page. We also have our YouTube page running. We want to say thank you for Kyle for being here with us tonight. I know he's been busy covering a lot of bases. We are getting down to the brass tacks of what's going on down there right now. And you know what, Patrick, as you were saying, as Austin just clearly stated, what I see is this isn't just a land grab. This is a testing phase. On the Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation sits above the largest coal reserve in the world. Okay. And for the longest time, it took them forever to exclude Peabody coal off of the res. It took them forever. And they finally did it. But let's just not forget that the Department of Energy, they recognize that it's still there. And it's only a matter of time before they become hungry for that resource. I don't know if anybody ever watched Powwow Highway. They want our uranium and they want our coal, and they're going to take it. No matter what, they're going to do whatever they can to come in here and take it. We need to be able to say, look, you guys are just continuing to kill us. That's what you're trying to do right now. And the more we push that on them and say, we know you want to kill us. We know you want to murder our people. Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you tased me. You didn't even have any legal authority to do so. You didn't have any legal authority to come here and kick me out of my house that's been paid for by my grandmother that we are still footing the bill for. You have no legal right to do any of these things, yet you're doing it anyway. What if I was to come to your house and settle up on your ass? Then what would you do? Nothing. You'd take it. That's what you'd do. And I'm sure, they would figure out some sort of a way to make me look like the bad guy for going out there, especially when we all know that what you're doing is completely fucking illegal. That's it. And as far as I see it, ain't nobody got the balls to go up there and stand up. And not saying Winnemucca residents or the people, the tribes. I'm saying the legal community. And that's a call out to all you people that talk about being attorneys and this and the other thing.
I've tried. I've contacted an old friend of mine from high school. She sent me a link to somebody. I tried to contact him. He's like, I don't want to get involved in any kind of tribal dispute. How's this a tribal dispute when these people aren't even native? No, the tribal. It's not even a tribal dispute. This is just a dispute.
Are you familiar with Tara Hauska?
No.
Tara Hauska. Yes. She's a good friend of mine. She was a great friend of my wife's. Very intelligent legal. I think she works for the legal office. She does nothing but tribal law. Please look her up. She is amazing, and she's all about the people. She's, just amazing, and she's old school. I should reach out to her. I know she had a baby not so long ago. But reach out to Tara Hauska. She is smart, and she is. Let me tell you what, man. She's a fighter. She is a fighter. So if I can give you anybody to reach out to, Tara Hauska, and she does tribal law. She lives right there in D.C., Washington, D.C., and all she does is fight for our people.
She has a baby about the same age as we do. As a matter of fact, the baby's almost a year old. And you're right. But this is the thing that I've been seeing. Like, it doesn't seem like no matter how many times the elders called out for help, there was some sort of dissolution right there because of a certain group of people that came down there and basically co-opted the identity of the security measures that were enforced to protect the community. Right? All the elders asked for was help. Security people there to help, keep things clean, keep things safe, keep the BIA off of the land and stop harassing those people. And instead of that being the main issue, they decided to put gender identity out there in front. That not to say that gender identity doesn't have its place or that people's feelings about it or their choice in gender identity, whatever that is. It's just, it clouded up what the elders were asking for in the way of help. It's the same as Standing Rock. When Standing Rock said, look, we don't want you to be violent. We don't want you going over there and being violent, because that then gives them the excuse to bring that violence back. I'm saying right now, there are 5 main things that need to happen. First of all is show me her legal authority to do what she's doing. Secondly is getting every single person who's been involved in this, like you said, the 26 people that lived on that 20-acre parcel, to all sign an affidavit, if you will, that says that she has no legal representation over us for any reason whatsoever before she was even here, no matter who she claims to be related to or whatever band of Shoshone she claims to represent. If she can't prove it, we don't care. Even if she could, we don't care, because we're not asking for her representation. So there, now she has no legal right to be here. Then I would appoint somebody or several somebodies in that community, rule number 3, to be the legal arm. We are now deputizing certain members of this tribal community, the younger ones, obviously, that are going to enforce the laws of this community. Now the BIA has no jurisdiction, because now we don't want your help. And we are asking, unless you can prove that Judy Rojo has a right to be here, we're not asking for the BIA's law enforcement credentials. We don't want it. Get off of the colony and have them excluded. Write that out and submit it to a federal judge. The 26 members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony do not recognize Judy as a leader, or her daughter, or her attorney, or Bob McNichols, the former BIA police agent that is there acting as the code enforcement officer under her claimed jurisdiction. There, those first 3 things. Then the 4th thing is to file a class action lawsuit, not only against the state of Nevada, but the entirety of the U.S. federal government, the Department of Interior, and named Deb Haaland. That's the fourth. The fifth, and the most important one out of all of it, is to make sure that this never, ever happens again by making sure that every person that signs that signature has an equal responsibility in the governorship of that land base.
Listen, you're okay. I don't want to be a downer.
I get it.
But I don't want to be a downer, but you shouldn't be in this by yourself. There should be other tribes, other societies. Where the fuck is the Shoshone people?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Shoshones are huge. I've known quite a few of them. They're good people. Where are they at during all this? Why ain't they speaking up? Why aren't they coming to defense?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The area that we're in is predominantly northern Paiute and eastern Shoshone, western Shoshone, and I wish I knew. But the thing is,
you know, Dan sisters, bro. What happened with Marion, Carey, and Clifford? I was there when I was a teenager. As a matter of fact, I got arrested in Nevada by a Battle Mountain, Winnemucca. Well, excuse me, Lander County Sheriff's Office.
Lander.
As a juvenile, I got transported back to Oregon on a bus. So you make sure and turn yourself in. Oh, hey, thanks, deputy. You betcha. You know? But what happened with them? Oh, we're seizing 1,000-year cows and like 300-year horses. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Oh, by the way, you owe us for grazing fees. Really? Where does it say that in the Treaty of 1868? Where does it say that in the Ruby Valley Treaty? Anywhere? No. So the what was it? The Bureau of Land Management hasn't a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, when in reality it was aimed at a gold mine, the Cortez gold mine.
Oh yeah.
Look at that gold mine now.
Okay, I don't know where that went. I was talking about you threw me off there, Ron. I don't know where we went there, buddy.
Hey man, when passion's flying, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys obviously know more about this than I do. You both do. Well, here's my issue is this is something I keep bringing up and something I keep fighting for. We're so proud to be Native when it comes to powwow, when it comes to regalia and feathers and speaking all holy, and when we have famous people, but when it comes to true unity, your people is Paiute and Eastern Shoshone. You're federally recognized people.
Western Shoshone.
Western Shoshone. So excuse my language, everybody, because this is going to be a little rough, and I know I don't really curse on either, but I want to say this. What the fuck is the other tribes, dude?
Yeah.
That's my question. Where is the Shoshone people, all the other Shoshones? Why ain't they speaking up? You know why? I'm going to tell you why, unfortunately. We are colonialized as a mother. And I've learned something about being Native in today's society. We think just like the white man. And no one wants to, no, you know, I get a lot of bite back. Oh, no, we don't. Yes, we do. If it doesn't affect us directly, we don't give a damn. And that is the truth. If it does not affect our per cap, if it doesn't affect us and we don't get nothing out of it, we don't give a damn. 35% of the people that were Standing Rock was there just to be seen.
That's right. And
just to be seen.
Them were Federal Bureau of Investigation agents.
So
posing
I don't
as people that were our friends.
So the Winnemucca people shouldn't be going through what they're going through by themselves, especially such a small entity. Where are the other Shoshone people stepping up, going, this needs to be handled correctly?
Yeah.
And that's my heartbreak and is my anger that Native people, we keep talking about being decolonialized. Oh, we need to stop being so colonialized. Please don't go. But when we need you to show up in numbers, when we need to, we have the Winnemucca people, man. I've had prayer sessions with you for you guys. I've been to Sweat Lodge and brought you people into my Sweat Lodge, and I wish I could do something physically. I wish I can go there and do something physically. Think about it. There's only one guy. I'm only one guy. If I knew there were a load of people was going, think I wouldn't book my ticket. But it's time. It's time for the Shoshone people. I'm calling out the Shoshone people. You beautiful people. Why aren't y'all speaking about this? Do you not know? Is this not being talked about? You're telling me the Shoshones don't know what's going on in other Shoshone communities? Paiute people. Where's the Paiute people at? Where's the leadership of the Paiutes? And you guys were originally Paiute, am I correct?
I am. That's all I am. I'm just Northern Paiute.
You're Paiute, right? But the people, your family and them were Paiutes that mixed in with the Shoshones, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, because we're basically part of the same linguistic family at the same time. A lot of a lot of the Shoshone, how they speak is the same way we speak. So much interchange of words. It's almost actually now when I hear people speak, because I can still understand quite a bit of it. When they talk, I could tell who's who, like what they're more of. Because when they're speaking the language.
So this is a similar situation with the the Navajo and
in the Pueblos and the Apaches.
And the Pueblos, right? Yes, yes. So it's the same situation, right? Basically the same people with different names.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. The Bannock, the Pitt River. I actually got family Pitt River. My great grandmother.
So then that would make us related, because Athabascans are it's the Sierras and the Cascades and the coast of Oregon, California, and Washington. Here's
that's the whole problem, man. I don't see no other tribes stepping up. And
you bring up Ron really brings up a really good point. I wanted to point out that too. Is the fact is, and Austin brought it up too about clout. That's what it comes down to. People just want clout. The bad thing about not even just indigenous society, but the whole American society as it is, people are chasing the likes. They want the recognition, no matter what it is. They do the stupidest things on the internet because thousands and millions of people will see it. The problem is that America's okay with that. The thing is that's what they look for. That's what justifies you as a person now. It's not it's not striving for like intelligence or compassion towards other people. It's about who could get the most views and who could get the most likes. Whose picture is going to be the poster child for some weird random product that somebody comes up with? Who's going to be the next spokesperson for this? The sad thing is intelligence is thrown under the bus nowadays, and it's all about clout.
I want to speak up real quick, Kyle, and I appreciate you once again for saying what you said. All of you people out there that wear headdresses with all those eagle feathers and the plumes that are attached around the front end of them, or those war bands, or what they call war bonnets, not just a headdress, but a war bonnet. Prove it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm saying this to all of you people that claim to be indigenous First Nations leaders of tribes throughout North America, okay? My bro called you out, I'm calling you out. And whoever's watching this, I hope you share this with elected officials in those tribes like that. Where are you? Are you just a pawn, a little guppy for the U.S. Department of the Interior? You just work there. You don't want any headaches, any trouble. You just want to pick up that casino money and go smile around at the National Indian Gaming Commission annual, buffet dinner in D.C. What is it that you do? I mean, because this is something that I've said. Huh?
Watch bingo.
Exactly. And this is my question to all of these people. This is where, people will say, well, you're only reaching a few people. Well, now here's my call out. Where's the rest of you natives at? You know what I mean? Is that hard for you to hear? You know what I mean? If it's your people needing help, you call out, you ask for help. I remember a day just a couple of short winters ago when elders in their 50s, 60s, 70s, some of them in their 80s were begging with tears in their eyes for people to come there and help down there at the Winnemucca Indian colony. So my wife and I jumped in a van. This is before my daughter was even born. And we went down there. And we built a sweat. We helped get that fire together. We brought prayers. We brought ceremony. We asked for those things to be recognized. You know how many natives that are out there that claim to be natives showed up?
Dude, this little podcast we on right now, see, maybe I'm just in a shitty mood tonight, but I'll call a spade a spade. You know, we got natives on our podcast right now that want to share our podcast.
Yeah.
We got natives that will watch it. Or they'll just watch a bit of it. But just because they don't want to give somebody else a little credit, a little bit of recognition, put the news up, they won't even share our podcast. They will not even share this podcast with their groups. This is a crazy important show right now we're doing. We're talking about real crap that's going on in the Native community, and they won't share this podcast. Nope. They'll watch it, but they won't share it. So, I mean, that's what we are as Native people now. We don't support each other unless we're part of it. We support you if we're getting something out of it. But just to support each other, man, it's horrible, man.
Hey, Patrick, are you guys having a feed over there, bro? They giving away blankets or anything?
That's it. They're giving away something. Y'all got something free?
You guys got something free? We might be able to get a couple of those. You know what I'm saying? We want to come down and support you or whatever, but we're hungry and we got to get back and we're kind of broke. But, we'll do whatever.
Oh.
And to touch upon what Ron was bringing up earlier, I have a lot of people are bringing up. I got to apologize to the elders and stuff, the residents, because I felt like I failed that part because I had to talk with everybody there. I set up a meeting with all the people who were there, and I had a meeting to try and square everything away. I'll try to get everything dealt with, but I'm nothing. I'm not AIM. I'm not a water authority. I'm none of those things. I'm just me.
You're a human being, Kyle.
For me to be put in that position to try and help, I did my best, and I thought it was going to be better after that, but it didn't, and it failed, and it got worse. And they were asking me, "Hey, can you come back up? We want you to talk to these people again. It's getting worse." And I didn't do it that time, and everything fell apart.
Yeah.
And then I want to apologize to my neighbors and the elders and stuff because I felt like I could have done more. That we wouldn't have ended up in this situation.
But it hurts me. Hard, it hurts me so much to see what they're going through, and it's hard. Dude. I feel like I failed them, and I feel like I'm failing them right now.
Hey, you didn't fail shit, bro. You hear me?
You were failed.
Talk about how you're there to support this community. You look at this brother's tears in his eyes. I'll say it to your face. I'll go up to the powwow. I'll grab that microphone right out of the MC's hands. I don't care. I'm not afraid of it. Why? Because it needs to be said. Where are all you chicken shits at? You know what I'm saying? Where's all these legal people that graduated with a degree from Harvard or Stanford or UCLA or University of Oregon? People are writing on papers on post-colonial stress disorder. Where's your voice at? I'll chastise your ass right now. I'm not afraid of it. You know why? Because I see these elders and all these people talking about, don't disrespect my elders. No one's disrespecting your elders. There are elders being disrespected. So where's your Mr. I'm so protective ass at? Because that's my question to you. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And everybody's like, oh, what this and blah, blah, blah. I don't care, bro. What I'm saying is, how do I call you out? All of you. How do I call you out? Because what I see when I see my brother crying out here, talking about how he feels like he failed his people, it makes me all sorts of pissed off. Everybody's like, oh, Ron's going on another rant. I don't see you doing nothing. I don't see you doing nothing to help your community members. I don't see you not doing nothing to help your family. I'm talking about how you do this, that, and the other thing. Bro, you can say all of those things, but until we're all standing together to do what we can to protect the last of our integrity, 26 people living in a place that should have been left alone by some land-grabbing, lying thief that claims to be a Sundancer. Where's all you Sundance chiefs at? Where are you at? What about it, Winnemucca? What about it?
Hey, she went to the McDermott Sundance. I'm surprised she was there.
Well,
I heard she was asked. I heard she was asked to leave because she did something over there, and they asked her to leave. I don't know if that's true, but this is word through the vine. I don't know if that's true or not because I wasn't there, but that's just what I heard, and I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah. Well, but you're going to claim you're a spiritual person. If they asked her to leave, it was probably for good reason. I mean, we've asked people to leave our ceremonies too.
Yeah.
You bring that kind of evil, that ugliness around there, we'll check you. We're
Well,
not
you
calling
said
the cops here.
you
We'll
you
check you.
well, Ron, you said the key word, bro. Integrity. And I think it's so rare now, unfortunately. Listen, I am not being an upper right now. I know it just watching this stuff, and I'm also, I'm working on a show for the missing indigenous women. So I've been doing research, and I'm also working on a show for for with it child child my brain is if you fried. I'm working.
Endangerment.
No, not child endangerment. Child molestation, tribal child molestation. I'm working on these two shows at the same time, and I'm listening to you and what you're going through, and I'm like, man, it's right. It's hard to see a silver lining in my shoes right now because of everything that's going on, and no one is speaking up, and that drives me nuts. And I'm doing all the speaking I can, and I'm posting about it. I'm talking about it, and I see your elders going through, man. Let me tell you what. It gave me nightmares seeing your grandma when we brought her on live and she talked. Man, I had nightmares for 2 days about what she was going through, and
Yeah.
really ripped my heart out that she was going through what she was going through, and that's how we all should feel. And that's the way I grew up. One grandma is all of our grandmas. We always was taught that a grandma is a grandma. If it's my blood grandma, your blood grandma, it's still my grandma. And I
Mhm.
didn't.
She's gonna be 89 in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I didn't see your grandma. I seen my grandma laying
yeah.
there. That's all I see. I mean, that's
Our
the way I
grandma.
was raised.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't. That's the way I was raised. One elder's heart. I'm gonna shut up. But yeah, man. I'm with you. I want you to know I'm praying for you. I'm hoping our viewers out there are praying. I hope our viewers out there are sharing these videos. I hope these viewers out there are looking and researching on their own, trying to reach out to some of their leadership, some of their tribal attorneys, and trying to get some help out there to you, man. I really am.
Yeah, and I'm here. I'm going to talk to all you odd cum laude. I'm going to talk to all you anthropologists and archaeologists and history majors, right? PhD professors. I'm talking to all of you right now. You want to make your syllabus really strong and inclusive? Why don't you start showing some support right quick? There's 26 people that are members of the Winnemucca Indian colony that were evicted without any just cause to do so by somebody who illegally claims to be the controlling interest of that colony, even though she's never lived there, as according to all of the elders. Now there are two remaining families that are there, and there were the biggest rabble rousers and people that have been charged with felonies and had gone to jail and arrested several times. Well, it's part of the
I think
family, correct?
there's about like four other families actually there that've been there. But like I said, I mean, I have a roster from 1993 of the actual people who were there. Like there was a roster from the BIA that was made, including myself, my brother, my father, and my grandmother, including everyone else who was evicted, and their kids are on there still too. No sign of Judy Rojo, no sign of some guy named Shannon Evans or Margaret McGarrett, whatever her name is. No Misty Dawn Rojo Gonzalez, whatever else she goes by. They were nowhere to be seen on there. I have court records of times kept for tribal meetings. None of them were there. Just mainly including mostly my family and everyone else. Everyone who's been evicted's family were there at these tribal meetings in the 80s.
Yeah.
No sign of anyone. No sign of no Evans, no Rojo, whatever else.
And I would be writing a letter to the so-called court that's trying to claim criminal jurisdiction over this situation, and go and take a photocopy of your ass and send it to them in the mail with lips printed on there and it says "kiss my ass." Prove where you have jurisdiction or get off my case. Prove
Kyle, don't do that.
No, I don't think anybody wants to see that, including myself. That's why it's behind me.
Yeah, Kyle, don't do that. They'll have your ass for sexual harassment, sexual. Indecent exposure. Don't do that, Kyle.
I'm emotional. What I'm saying is that I see my brother going through it. I see my friends that are going through it. You know what I mean? What it's enough now, Patrick.
The visuals you gave everybody for the visuals you just gave everybody on our podcast right now.
I'm feeling, I don't know, I am feeling optimistic. I went to ceremony a couple nights ago. I was talking to Ron about it. I went to ceremony a couple nights ago, and I asked the creator for just a light and some guide me to show me what I need to do. Any little thing.
Absolutely.
Did you feel like that? I mean, there, to me, with ceremony, there has to be some answers. I know every time I've gone to pray about things and I'm sincere with it, that's what happens.
Well, it won't be immediate. Usually, it takes time. It got to manifest towards you. When you know. It's just not something that's like, oh, here's your answer. It's not going to a confession booth as a Catholic. Say, hey, dear Father, I did this. Give me some holy Hail Marys and blood of all. You're good. No, it takes time.
Give me some wine. Give me some wine.
And some of them crackers, isn't it the flesh there? Why don't you hand me a couple of
I had some dreams. I had some dreams last night. It kind of gave me more optimism too. So I'm just see what happens.
We got to leave it. That's it, man. Sky Woman, creator.
Spirit Father.
That's it. Universe. Got to put it out there and let them take care of it, and we just have to. But what is the old saying? One saying that Christians have that I do like: prayer without act is meaningless. Prayer without act is meaningless. That means we can pray all we want, but with no action, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I hate the whole phrase, when something bad happens, we have a mass shooting, hopes and prayers, bullcrap. Prayer without action is meaningless. And you're doing all the action you can do, bro. You got stunned twice. I think that's 3 times.
It was 3.
Yeah,
in the report they said it appears that the tasing had no effect on him, so we just had to use physical strength when they finally got all on top of me.
We were screaming Geronimo the whole way down,
and nothing was effective.
And I mean, like I said, I've been trying to get on I've contacted a bunch of different I got in contact. I'm so thankful for Kim Burrows in Reno, Nevada for News Channel 4. She did a little piece on us and got the interview done. So I was happy for that. And I keep her updated on what's going on. So maybe hopefully in the future we get another update on what happened, or put us back on the news.
We want to bring you back as soon as we know more, as soon as there are updates again. If we can get JJ to come on here.
Let's get JJ on.
Us too. We want JJ to come and maybe whoever else. I mean, I know there are other elders. We would love to have your grandma actually spend a little bit of time and share her heart. That's when I'm going to get quiet. Mm-hmm. One of the things I know, like, we can all sit here and converse. We're relatively in the same age group, not maybe not completely, but we're closer in age than those grandmas.
Mm.
Yes, me and Kyle is closer in age.
Right, yeah.
Hey, I've been getting a compliment saying they look like I'm mid to my late 20s. I'm like, thank you.
That's all right. I'm getting compliments saying, how far away from Social Security are you again?
My mom said I'm on the front side of 50, and she's true. She's truly right about that.
I want to give another shout out to our sponsor and our host, as always, Scoden.xyz. Native people, you want a place to go that's all native all the time. You get tired of Facebook. You'd like to have a place that's like Facebook, but through natives. Scoden.xyz is your platform. It's run and operated by all native people. It was created, invented by native folks. It is operated currently by native people. It is funded by native people. And it's just like Facebook, except it's all native. It's native that as soon as you log on, you lose a couple more points off your credit score. So come on. So come on.
That's what happened. I was wondering why I got a credit report like a week later. I was like, oh, man. Well, I'm on there too, so I got to look more into it. I'm registered on it. I just I
Come
haven't
on
really
over, man.
messed with my
So
profile and stuff
the
yet.
creator is actually, he flew out to Chiapas de las Casas, La Revolución para de Mexicanos de Chicano. The Brown Pride movement, like in Mexico, is actually, that's where it started in Chiapas. And Zapatista is the other name, but he went out there this morning down for a conference with the Indigenous Peoples Power Project. My brother Nick Sanford Belgard. So I'm praying he has a good time. They're down there for that conference. I think he said he was going to bring the situation up with Winnemucca down there. I mean, we're looking for solidarity for sure, no doubt. Again, we want to say thank you for coming on with us, Kyle. You know what I mean? We're going to be in touch with you. We said we were only going to go an hour tonight. We went 20 minutes past that. That's not to marginalize or minimize what we were talking about here. I know there's going to be some wonderful things to come from this, despite our anger and frustration. And for all of you people that took the time to come and join us tonight, we want to say thank you right here from the B&B Indigenous Podcast. There's a lot going on. Jupiter is in ascension right now in our galaxy, in our cosmos, in our solar system.
And we have a great show also next week. Make sure you tune in. We have a special guest on. I do not want to say his name yet because I'm going to post his bio. But we're going to be talking about the residential schools. We have a gentleman on from the Seneca Nation that's going to be on, and he works directly with the residential schools and the residential school survivors. So
right.
It's going to be a very special show. Very, be pretty emotional. We still got our elders that are around that had forced through the residential schools and the backlash of what's been going on and the PTSD that still resonates with our Native people residential school. So make sure you tune in next Monday as well. If you follow us on YouTube, please follow us on YouTube and like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. That way, whenever we post something, you get notified immediately whenever we post up new content on the B&B Indigenous Podcast on YouTube. Kyle, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. You know, we love you, man. You're in our prayers.
That's
and
right.
You got any final words you like to put out there?
I just want to thank you guys for letting me back on here again to get it out. I just, as much as I've been trying to do, I just been trying to just get this word out. Just so what happens. Sometimes the smallest steps lead to the biggest results. You know, just
Absolutely.
any little thing that I could do to try and help more than I can. You know, and
Here's a message for you to take with you tonight, and all of you that decided to watch. Just hear this. Imagine Morgan Freeman is narrating this, okay? So it sticks with you a little bit better. Just when we thought all hope was lost, along came a miracle that no one saw coming. But once it happened, it changed everything. And it restored that peace and power that we all deserve to have in life. There you go. Sing that soundtrack with it. That's what I'm talking about. No, all jokes aside, we want that to be something that is thematic for all the people that are residents of Winnemucca Indian Colony. Those up there in the Rift Depot situation in East Phillips neighborhood over there with Rachel Thunder, another person we'd like to be able to get you guys in contact with, because I think an alliance, once this alliance is built, we're going to be able
That's
to
a great person to bring on with Kyle.
That's right.
Let's make that happen. Rachel Thunder, she works directly with AIM. She is a member of AIM.
Yeah, she used to be a part of the Grand Governing Council. I remember that. And then,
absolutely. So we're going to get Rachel on here with you, and where you can talk to her directly. I think that let's make this happen. Let's happen, Ron.
Hey,
Next couple of weeks, we'd like to be able to turn that around because we do want to get updates from them too. But it would be nice.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping up what's going on with them too.
Good. Again, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. We did go over 20 minutes over, but that's okay. We were really thankful to have Kyle Missourii with us. If you guys are interested, you can check out that news article on Channel 4 in Reno, correct? What are the call letters for that radio or television station, rather, down there?
I think just My News 4. I'm not sure. I'll post everything on my Facebook. My Facebook's just Kyle Missourii. I'm going to repost everything up again, just update.
Request. And make sure you guys stay in contact with the B&B Indigenous Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, and we have a YouTube page. It's up and running. We are on Skodan.xyz. This show is simulcast on Patrick Little Wolf Brooks' page, my page, Ron Belgard. Kyle has done his part and shared it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and make sure and get this information out. This is not the end of the situation going on with the Winnemucca Indian Colony, nor its residents, nor the legal consequences that are coming for Judy and Misty Dawn and Bob McNichols and anybody else who's complicit in the complete theft and absolute illegal situation that they've undertaken here. Again, we will see you guys next Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the B&B Indigenous Podcast. Thanks again to our guest. And remember to make sure, like I said, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, one love. That's right. Stand up for your people. We'll see y'all.